Okay, I am hoping that everybody can hear this and see this, and that you can see what is happening. Please pop a message in the chat if you can't hear or see this properly. Hopefully you can do. Okay, I'm going to assume that this is working and I will proceed. Okay, so hello, my name is Nicola Eildon, and with Joe Wilson and Lauren Blackburn, we are running the Newquay trip this year. Okay, so this evening is just giving you lots and lots of details and information about the trip that is pretty imminent. Okay. So this evening, I'll just go through final information for all of you, just details about what we will do, arrangements in terms of drop off and pick up, some of the activities that we'll do, some of the questions that people might have about staffing, and also health and safety. And whilst I'm doing the presentation, you are able to ask any questions that you have, and we will endeavour to answer them as much as we can do. The whole session is being recorded for those people who can't make it this evening, and also if you wanted to watch over it again with your children if they can't be here to hear it. Okay, so I am going to disappear from your screens so that you can just see the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so the company that we use for Newquay is a company called Elemental UK. We've used them for over 15 years, and we use them for our Cornwall trip, but also our Alps trip in the summer and our ski trip. So it's a company that we've got a really good relationship with, and we have worked with for a long time. And they provide all of the activities, they coordinate everything, because obviously we're English, maths, PE teachers. So they do all of that bit for us. We're just the coordinators at this end. Okay, so, oh, brilliant. It doesn't quite fit on the screen. Excellent. Okay, so hopefully you have already returned all of the forms that we are waiting for. Okay, and so that is medical information and consent, and we should be paid up by now. Okay, the information booklet and kit list has been sent home already. It's also linked in the chat as well if you'd like a copy of it. It's also on Show My Homework. It's been sent home via parent mail, so please do check to make sure you've got the kit list and all of the details. If you're not sure about payment and money, how much you've paid, how much you owe, then please do get in contact with finance, and they'll be able to give you an update of how much you have paid and how much is still left. Okay, so the Newquay trip, we obviously travel from Warwick down to Newquay, and we are based in Newquay, which is about 5-6 hour drive on the coach with a stop. And we are based in Newquay. Our hotel is in Newquay, and a lot of the activities that we will do will be in and around Newquay, but we do also go over to Falmouth, which is on the screen here with the green cross. We do go over there for one of the activity days as well, just because the conditions of the sea are very different over there, so we get to do different water-based activities. Okay, so where we are based, our hotel here is right in the centre of Newquay, and so it means that it's really short distance to the beach. For our first day activities over at Fistral, it's just a very short walk across town to get to Fistral. Our hotel here is right next to Towan Beach and also Tolkien Beach, where we go in the evenings. Okay, so we've got a really good location for the hotel and for where we are in terms of getting to activities. Our hotel we stay in is the Hotel Victoria, this one here, a lovely old kind of Victorian style building, and we stay there. We have rooms there, we will eat there, that will be our base. We will have kind of social space there, the big lounge to be able to use in our social time when we have it, and we have all of our bedrooms there. So we have a kind of wing of this hotel. All of our rooms are separate to the rest of the members of the public, and so we will have 2 or 3 floors of the hotel to ourselves, and there'll be student rooms alongside teacher rooms. So our rooms are kind of dotted around, so that on every single floor there are teacher rooms as well as student rooms. So we are all together, and we will be in a separate part of the hotel from members of the public, although we use the restaurant and the main lounges with members of the public, with families who are staying there. Okay. So we run 2 totally identical trips. So whichever trip you're on, whether you're on trip 1 or trip 2, we do exactly the same things. It will be no different at all. Okay, we leave on the Friday morning at 7 a.m. So we ask you to be in school in the bus turning circle at about 6:45. And so we leave school at 7 a.m. and spend the morning travelling to Newquay. As soon as we get to Newquay, we drop our suitcases off at the hotel and we leave them in one of the lounges. We don't go up to our bedrooms. We drop our stuff and we will head straight over to Fistral Beach and spend the rest of the day surfing and bodyboarding. And we'll go back to the hotel, go into our rooms, unpack, have dinner, and then head back to the beach and spend the evening, hopefully watching the sunset, just playing games on the beach. And so it's a really lovely, busy first day. So this Saturday we get up nice and early, and then the group splits into 2. So half of the trip group will go off to Falmouth to Swamppool and do things like canoeing, supping, coasteering, sailing, raft building, lots of different things over at Falmouth. And the rest of the group will go to Porthtowan. And Porthtowan is a bit closer to Newquay than Falmouth, and we will spend the day there surfing and bodyboarding. In the evening, everyone comes back to the hotel, have shower, get changed, have dinner at the hotel, and then we'll head back to Tolkon Beach in the evening and have a lovely evening on the beach. On the third day, on the Sunday, we will get up again nice and early, and the groups will swap. And so whoever was at Falmouth will then go to Porthtowan and the other way round. And so everyone will do absolutely everything. That last evening we will head back over to the hotel, get showered and things, but then we'll go and have fish and chips on Towan Beach in the centre of Newquay, and again have a lovely nice evening down on the beach in Newquay. On our last day we get up nice and early, we pack up our rooms, take all the luggage down to the storage room, and then we will have the rest of the day going to Newquay Zoo in the morning, and then students will have the rest of the afternoon as free time to go get lunch with their friends, do a bit of shopping in Newquay, and then we'll leave at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon to get the coach home again, returning to school on the Monday night at about 10 o'clock. Obviously we will give you more updated information on our travel home. Okay, and so that's what the plan is for the weekend. And so whether you're on trip 1 or trip 2, that is what it will look like. Lots and lots of different activities. 3 of the 4 days are in the sea. Okay, so it is very much a water sports, sea-based holiday. All of the rest of the time pretty much is on the beach. If we're not in the sea, we're still on the beach. Okay. So Porthtowan Beach near Newquay, Tolkon Beach in Newquay, and Fistral Beach in Newquay. We do lots of different activities there. Everyone will have a go at proper stand-up surfing. You will have 3 sessions over the 3 days of surfing and bodyboarding. Okay, both proper stand-up surfing and also bodyboarding, and we'll get to kind of explore lots of the different beaches, world famous Fistral Beach for the surfing there, and also Porthtowan, which is a lovely little spot that we use there. And so the students have proper surf lessons. We'll have all of the instruction there and lots of time to practice. The centre that we use provide lots of surf instructors who will be on the beach doing the instruction, and then also in the water helping the children to stand up and just get better and better and enjoy it. And they do tend to do very, very well. Okay, so lots of nice pictures there of students quite successfully standing up. And then we just have lots of lovely free time in the evenings, in the afternoons on the beach, everyone with their friends playing great big games. I think last year we had a game of rounders with about 100 people involved. And so it's usually lots and lots of fun, and hopefully the weather is kind and there's beautiful for us. We'll have a little bit of time to have a bit of an explore, go visit the harbour in Newquay. Hopefully the seals are there, and so we just have a lovely time whilst we're there. And we do tend to be blessed with some glorious sunsets, lots of good photo opportunities. Okay, so Swampole Beach, one of the centres that we go to over in Falmouth. So we go to this small little beach here, which is called Swampole Beach, which is where Elemental, the company that we use, are based. That's where their office is. You can see their office there in the background. And so very different sea conditions over here, which means whilst we're at Falmouth for the day, we can do lots of different water-based activities than we do when we're over in Newquay. Okay, one of the more popular ones is coasteering, where we jump off of the rocks into the sea. Different jumps of different heights, and it's lots and lots of fun. We'll be in groups with the instructors showing us exactly where to jump, checking the conditions to make sure it's deep enough to jump. And so it's a very controlled, very fun, exciting activity that lots of people have never done before. Okay, so you can see here lots of different heights of jumps to kind of build up confidence. No one is made to do anything at all, obviously, but I know students who have been really nervous about doing this activity and have then chosen to do it, often say that it is the most fun activity that they did whilst they were there. And usually the nervous ones who eventually do jump then want to go in and jump again and again. And so there's lots and lots of fun jumps to do with the coasteering, and that is often staff and students' favourite activity. But there's also lots of other activities that we can do whilst we're over in Falmouth. So dragon boating here, supping or stand-up paddle boarding is excellent. The conditions there are very good. Some students are very good and pick it up very quickly. We can do sailing, again, if the conditions are right over there. It tends not to be as wavy over there, so we can do different things. Maybe if there's no wind, then we can do things like raft building instead. But there's just lots of different things that we can do whilst we're over there, kayaking and canoeing, exploring little private beaches and little coves and caves. It really is lots of fun and lovely over there. Okay, so in terms of kit, all of the kit that you see in the pictures really is provided for you. So the centre that we use, Elemental, will provide wetsuits, double wetsuits in some cases for some of the activities, buoyancy aids, helmets, all of that sort of equipment is all provided for you. Okay, so that will all be given to you. What's been sent out to you is a kit list, and on here is a list of what everybody needs to bring. So the hotel doesn't provide towels, so students will need to bring 2 towels. Please don't just bring one because it will get very sandy and grubby. We need a beach towel and also a towel for showering to keep at the hotel. So 2 towels is much nicer than the 1 sandy wet towel being passed in between. 2 swimsuits or trunks is ideal really, because often it won't dry overnight, and so it is pretty grim to put on a cold wet swimsuit the next day. All students will need shoes to wear in the sea. They will need trainers to be wearing normally, but they will also need shoes to wear in the sea when we're coasteering, when we're scrambling over the rocks, if you are doing stand-up paddle boarding, all of those activities, either wetsuit shoes, which you can get very cheaply from places like Sports Direct, and a lot of supermarkets now do wetsuit shoes, or just old trainers would be fine. Okay, but something that they have to be able to wear in the sea. So our day that we have over at Swampole in Falmouth, they must be wearing either wetsuit shoes or old trainers all of the time when they're in the water. And it's quite a stony beach as well, so you do probably want to have shoes on for that bit, but they will need trainers as well, just normal ones to wear all of the time rather than wearing wet ones. Sun hat, we're going to be really positive. Sun hat, sunglasses, sun cream. Even when it's overcast, students do get sunburn still. We will bring lots and lots of sun cream, and we'll make sure that children are wearing lots of it. But certainly if your child has particularly sensitive skin and you have certain requirements in terms of sun cream with allergies and things, please make sure that they bring plenty of it. Students will need a bag for day activities, so they'll probably want a suitcase. We're only going for 3 nights, some kind of bag to have all of their normal stuff in, but they will also need a rucksack for day-to-day activities. Please bring a water bottle, a refillable water bottle that we can fill at the hotel and at the activity centres. Certainly at Porthtowan, when we're there aren't any shops or anything there, so there is nowhere to go buy drinks, and so they will just need to be able to refill their water bottles. Waterproof jacket or coat. We do all of these activities regardless of the weather. We always hope that it is sunny, but if it isn't, then we do it anyway. We will go walk to the beach, and we will walk to to Fistral. We will do all of the activities whether it's raining or not. Okay, so we get very grumpy children if they get really wet and cold. So waterproof jackets or coats, please. Jumpers. Even in the summer, if you've been in the water all day, you can feel quite chilly when you get out. So a jumper, hoodie, warm clothes is ideal. You're sharing rooms with other people, so please bring pyjamas, regardless of what you wear or don't wear at home. When you're on holiday with your friends, please bring pyjamas. Don't forget underwear. Lots of people always forget underwear. And then we have to go to the shops in Newquay and buy pants and socks for people. Toiletries, please don't forget shampoo, shower gel, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, those kinds of things. There is a little supermarket near to the hotel, but it isn't open the whole time, and usually people don't realise they've forgotten these things until quite late at night. And so please do remember to bring toiletries. People don't need to bring expensive smart clothes. We will be on the beach for 90% of the trip, and so don't bring expensive fancy new trainers because you'll get sad when they get very sandy and salty. Plasters is probably a good shout in terms of just bringing extra ones because of wearing wetsuit shoes and wet trainers. People do tend to get blisters. Any kind of medication that your child is on, they will need to bring a duplicate. So if your child has inhalers for their asthma, they will need to have a copy, and we will also need to have a duplicate set just in case they get lost. Some of the rooms have got 10 people in, and so things get lost very quickly, particularly because they tend to just empty their suitcases on the floor, and so then they can't find anything. So duplicate sets of medication, please. Hopefully any medication that your child needs has already been filled in the medical form. Okay, something that we do every year, which is lovely. I think I have 15 of these now from the last 15 years of running this trip. We organise these hoodies, trip hoodies. The link has been sent home lots of times. It again is in the chat on the presentation. We have had these designs custom made, so it's got Newquay Myton School 2022 on the front. And then we've got this design on the back that will have all 200 Year 9s attending the trip, their names in the back. Okay, and it comes in a variety of colours. We organise it all through this online hoodie company. You pay for it, order it, do all of it, and they will just deliver it to school a couple of days before we go, so that we don't have to pay delivery costs and things. So the link is on here, the link is in the chat as well. And so if you would like to order a hoodie as a kind of memento for the trip, and also a useful jumper to actually have on the trip, they are £18.95. Okay, the shop closes, our order closes on Friday, so that they've got enough time to make the hoodies for us and deliver them to school in time before we go on the trip. Okay, so if you haven't ordered one of those and your child would like one, please order by Friday so that you aren't disappointed. They are adult sized hoodies, so I think most this year have probably been about a medium in terms of adult, because they do quite like them slouchy, and so that they last. Okay, so staff that go, obviously myself and Lauren and Joe are going, and lots of other teachers go. We will have 8 teachers on each trip. There'll be 4 teachers on each coach. We are there and we take part in the activities, and we are there so that if someone feels homesick or they're upset, they can come and speak to us if they need a bit of moral support. We are there to kind of supervise, but hopefully we don't ever have to kind of step into teacher mode. But we are there. We don't run any of the activities. None of us are water sports instructors. Okay, so whilst we are there running all of the activities are elemental instructors, and so properly qualified instructors that run all the activities. But as you can see from the pictures here, we do take part in everything. Okay, and so we enjoy doing all of them. That's me jumping and doing the co-steering. So we do take part, and we are there, and we will encourage and we'll be a part of their experience. But hopefully we don't really have to step into teacher mode, and we have rounders games against the students and things like that, like bury us in the sand. It's usually a really nice opportunity for the students to see us outside of the classroom, and for us to see them in a very different environment as well. Okay. Those are the teachers, and then various different instructors. They're the ones that run all of the activities. They coordinate all of this, and we'll have an instructor with us at the hotel. One of the coordinators for the company is with us at all times to help organise wetsuits or lost kit or anything like that. We've got somebody from Elemental with us at all times. Okay, so I've already explained that they need a rucksack. As soon as we get to the hotel on the first day, we will drop our suitcases and go straight to the activity centre, and so they won't have time to unpack, go get changed in rooms. We don't go to hotel rooms, okay, until much later. So in their day rucksack that they will have on the coach, students need to make sure that they've got their swim stuff with them, okay, that their swimsuit and their beach towels, sun cream stuff is in their rucksack with their lunch. We leave at 7 o'clock in the morning. We will stop probably at around Exeter services, but the first meal provided on the trip is tea at the hotel on Friday evening, and so it's important that they have lots and lots of food with them in their bag on the bus, okay, to keep them going all day. So please make sure that also things that are precious or valuable are kept on them in their rucksack with them. Okay, there aren't safes in the room, so students are responsible for looking after their own stuff, money, phones. They are the responsibility of the students. There aren't safes in the rooms. We won't be looking after phones and belongings, so students are just going to have to be sensible and responsible and look after their own stuff. Okay, we've already said that meeting time is at 6:45 so that we can leave as promptly as possible. We all just want to get down to Cornwall and start the trip as soon as we possibly can. At 7 o'clock we will leave. If you're not on the bus, you're not on the bus, and unfortunately refunds won't be given for you. Okay, so students have already had this clarified in class, and this has already been sent home. There was an assembly a few weeks ago about this agreed code of conduct, how students need to be behaving in school and how that reflects on the trip. And so students know that they need to have really good attendance to school to be able to earn the right to be able to go on this trip. We want to make sure that students are trying really hard in their subjects at school, because that will show us that they're going to make an effort on the trip. I hate the thought of parents spending lots of money on this trip and their child then being cold, and so they don't want to do any of the activities, and their kind of effort and attitude in class gives us a really good indication of that. Behaviour in school is really important. The students will be representing Myton School on this trip. We need to make sure that everyone is safe, that everyone is going to follow instructions, that they're not going to be leaving the hotel, they're not going to be doing things that they shouldn't be doing whilst they are on the trip. And so behaviour in school is very indicative of what is likely to happen on the trip. And if there is anybody who we feel is not going to be safe on the trip, isn't going to follow teacher instructions or an instructor's instructions to not jump off of a rock, then it's not going to be safe for them to be able to go. We've already had some students who have been caught vaping in school who have been removed from the trip, and that will continue to do so until the day that we leave. Okay, it's really important that vaping, smoking, drinking, all of those things obviously are not happening on the trip, and so we don't want anybody with any kind of track record of that coming on the trip and spoiling it for others. We need to make sure that people are attending when they're supposed to. If we ask students to make sure that they're down ready for the bus to leave the hotel at 9 o'clock in the morning, I don't want 60 students sat there wasting potential C and activity time because they're waiting for a few stragglers. So punctuality is really important. Just like if we say you've got a free hour in town, we want to make sure that we can trust people that they will be back on time and that we're not going to waste everyone else's time waiting for them. As has already been indicated as well, students with periods of isolation and exclusion also won't be allowed to attend the trip. We want this to be a really fun trip for everybody. It's very different when we're there. It's not school when we're there, but obviously we do need to be safe when we are there. There are 100 students and 8 teachers and instructors. We're in a hotel with members of the public. We just need to make sure everyone is safe and having a nice time. We're going to be on cliffs and walking along beaches and walking through town centres. We just need to make sure that everyone is safe and having a nice time. So there are rules, and we have asked for you to consent to these rules, both you as parents and that your children will follow them too. Sensible use of phones, for example, following instructions, to make sure that everyone takes the correct equipment so that they can take part, that they're going to try at all of the different activities, that any instances where we suspect students are smoking, vaping, taking drugs, consuming alcohol, obviously there'll be really, really serious consequences with that, of either students being sent home, students being withdrawn from activities as a sanction, and students being barred from going on any school trips ever again. Okay, so we just want everyone to have a nice time, and they can have a really nice time with their friends doing these activities without having to do things that they're not supposed to be doing. Okay, we will contact home obviously when we need to, and if parents need to come and collect their children and remove their children from the trip, then obviously we will make contact with you if that is necessary, but hopefully it won't, and everyone's just having a nice time, which is what this trip is all about. Oh, sorry. Okay. So please make sure you filled out all of the medical and consent forms, check school post account, contact us if you haven't filled everything out. Please make sure that you have paid the full balance by the end of May. If you're not sure, then email the finance department. Rooming is being organised next week. If you don't quite know which trip your child is on, it has been on Show My Homework lots and lots and lots of times, but it is also in the chat as well, so you can have a look. An updated list of dates and children is on there. Okay, a couple of kind of questions that I get asked all of the time before I leave you to it. We leave at 7, we will leave Cornwall at about 4. In evenings, we will hopefully go down to the beach, and we will stay down there as late as we can do. If it's nice, we will stay down there as late as we possibly can, because how lovely to be by the sea and on a beach with our friends. The rooms tend to get hot quite quickly, and they're quite cramped, and so if we can avoid spending as much time as possible in the rooms as we can do, we will. Some students can't swim or can't swim very confidently. For the day at Falmouth, everyone wears buoyancy aids regardless of their ability to swim. And when we're surfing and bodyboarding, those who aren't so confident can stay in the shallows. They'll be identified by the instructors, so extra care is taken of them. But for swimming and surfing, surfing and bodyboarding, we don't go deep into the water, but there'll be lifeguards and things there. And so there'll be lots and lots of people around to help and supervise. Do we get time to go around the shops? Only on the last day, on the Monday afternoon, students will have free time to go to the shops. And so they don't really have to bring lots and lots of money, because it's kind of touristy shops in Newquay, surf shops. There isn't an awful lot there for students to spend their money and time on. Does it matter what swimwear we have? Ideally, I would say swimsuits or shorts and rash vests. Bikinis aren't particularly practical or comfortable underneath a wetsuit. You will only ever be going in the sea in a wetsuit. You won't be ever going in the sea in just your swimsuit. You will always have a wetsuit on because it will be cold no matter what, the water will be cold, certainly for the length of time that we will be in the water for, it will get cold. And so students will all wear a wetsuit. Sometimes students might want to wear a t-shirt over the top of their wetsuit, or a rash vest over the top of their wetsuit if they're feeling a little bit self-conscious. That's totally fine. On the activities when we're at Falmouth, everyone is wearing a rash vest anyway. What time do we go to bed? We make you get up really, really early, and so we like you to be in bed between 11 and 12 o'clock at the latest. People don't go into each other's rooms. That's totally not allowed. You are responsible for the belongings in your room, and so if someone else comes into your room, it then starts getting very complicated if things go missing. We need to make sure that people are staying in their own rooms. How long will it take to get there? It takes 5 or 6 hours depending on the traffic. The earlier we leave in the morning, the better the traffic is. What time do we have to get up? We'll probably wake you up about 6:30. We will give all students contact details for teachers and for the hotel whilst we are there. So if anything happens, students can get hold of us at any time. Our bedrooms will have notices on indicating that it's a staff room. So if anyone doesn't feel very well in the night, or feels homesick, or they've got a headache, they can come and get us whenever they need to. Can you bring sweets and snacks? Yes, definitely. For the coach journey, it is a very long coach journey. The hotel caters for all different types of food allergies and requirements. It is a kind of set meal. There's not a big long list of a menu for us to choose from. They're having to cater for 100 people to sit down and eat all at once, as cheaply as possible in terms of what we have paid for the food. And so it's, you know, lasagna, chips and salad and garlic bread, kind of, you know, it's standard food. There's vegetarian, vegan options. They can cater for all different allergies and preferences, because it is also open to members of the public. It is a normal hotel, and so they do cater for all different types of preferences. Just make sure that we know on the information sheets that you've provided, if you turn up and say I'm vegetarian but it's not on the preference sheet, it's very difficult for us to change those orders. We put everything in weeks in advance, and we let them know so that they can cater for us. So please make sure any information we need to know is on those forms that have already been sent in. If you've already filled in the form and you've forgotten something, then email us and let us know. Okay, and so that is it. Okay, lots and lots of information. I do appreciate. We hope that it will be a lovely trip. As I say, it's been running at Myton for 20 years or more, and it's a really fab trip, and we really hope that your children get to enjoy this opportunity. We will stay online. The presentation will disappear, but the Q&A will stay on. So if you have any questions, we will either answer individually if it's an individual question, but if it's an answer that is likely to be interesting for lots of other people too, then we will post it online. Otherwise, email myself, Mrs. Eildon, or Miss Blackburn, or Mr. Wilson, and we will get back to you. Okay, thank you very much, Year 9 and parents. Thank you.